What if I told you some of the most toe-tapping hits in country music history came from artists you barely hear about today? Yep, those catchy tunes that once ruled the airwaves vanished almost as quickly as they arrived. From heartfelt ballads that had us in tears to barn-burning anthems that filled every dance floor, these gems deserve a comeback. Here's 15 forgotten one-hit wonders in country music you need to hear. Butterfly Kisses, Bob Carlyle. Even if you have never heard of Bob Carlyle before, there is a good chance this song has snuck into your life at some point. Maybe it was at a wedding when the bride danced with her dad and everyone suddenly became allergic to the air. Or maybe it was at a graduation when half the audience mysteriously had watery eyes. Bob Carlyle may not have had a string of country hits, but he sure knew how to land one straight in the heart. Released in 1997, this song won a Grammy for Best Country Song and also topped the pop and Christian music charts. That's right, it was everywhere. The lyrics tell the story of a father watching his little girl grow up, and it has a way of making even the toughest cowboy suddenly remember he has somewhere else to be, so nobody sees him cry. The beauty of Butterfly Kisses lies in its simplicity. It is not about fame, riches, or fancy cars. It is about moments. Those little, everyday gestures that mean more than anything else. Bob Carlyle managed to write a love letter from every father to his daughter, and in doing so, he made a song that refuses to be forgotten. So if you think you are emotionally strong enough, go ahead and hit play. Just be warned, you might suddenly feel the urge to call your dad, hug your daughter, or simply sit quietly and appreciate the people you love. That is the magic of a true one-hit wonder. He's a heartache looking for a place to happen. Janie Fricka. Let's talk about Janie Fricka and a song that speaks about being sassy that she delivered effortlessly to the world with a golden smile. He's a Heartache is the kind of fun anthem you blast when you are tired of boring love songs and ready to show off your attitude. Released in the early 80s, this track soared to number 1 and reminded everyone that heartache could have attitude and style. Janie belts out her caution with a playful grin. She is basically saying if he breaks your heart, you might just kiss him instead because he is dangerously captivating. What makes this song a joy is the contrast between the friendly voice and the fierce message. The melody invites you to tap your toe while the lyrics sneak in a warning about love gone wild. It is like drinking sweet tea that sneaks up and roars with flavor. Janie Fricka knew exactly how to sway the listener between sweet and spicy. This is a top-tier one-hit wonder because it feels timeless. It reminds us not to take love too seriously while still acknowledging how powerful it can be. So if your playlist is feeling stale, this is the jolt you need. Just don't be surprised if the rest of your day gets a bit more fun because Janie Fricka decided to show love with a bit of attitude. You're the best break this old heart ever had. Ed Bruce. Ed. Bruce may not be a household name for everyone, but in the world of country music, he left behind a track that still feels like a warm handshake and a smile. You're the best break this old heart ever had is pure country charm. Released in the early 1980s, it was the kind of song that didn't just get played on the radio. It felt like it belonged there. The song is about love, but not the dramatic soap opera kind. This is about the steady, dependable, I'm better because of you kind of love. Ed sings it with such sincerity that you almost feel like you're eavesdropping on a conversation he's having with the love of his life. And let's be honest, it is refreshing to hear a song that celebrates love without any bitter aftertaste. Ed Bruce himself had an interesting career. He was not just a singer, but also a songwriter and actor. In fact, he co-wrote the classic Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, which became a hit for Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings. So he was no stranger to country greatness, but You're the Best Break became his personal signature tune. Listening to it today feels like a step back in time to an era when songs were heartfelt without being overly complicated. You can almost imagine yourself sitting on a porch, sweet tea in hand, watching the sunset while this plays in the background. If your heart needs a gentle reminder that pure love still exists, this is your song. It is like a love letter set to music, and once you hear it, you will wonder why it is not still on everyone's playlist. So whether you love these songs for the nostalgia, the musicianship, or the sheer fun of it, just be warned, because more hits are coming, and once they get in your head, they may never leave. The Ballad of Jed Clampett, Flat and Scruggs. If there was ever a song that could transport you straight into a television show, The Ballad of Jed Clampett is it. Performed by the legendary bluegrass duo Flat and Scruggs, this tune is as much a piece of pop culture history as it is a country music gem. Most folks remember it as the theme song to the Beverly Hillbillies, the sitcom about a poor mountaineer who struck oil and moved to Beverly Hills. From the moment the banjo kicks in, you know you are in for a good time. It is playful, catchy, and impossible not to sing along with. Lester Flatt's smooth storytelling voice guides you through Jed Clampett's unlikely riches to riches tale, while Earl Scruggs' banjo picking is so sharp and fast it could probably slice bread. When it debuted in 1962, this song shot up the country charts and became a defining moment for bluegrass in mainstream entertainment. For many people, this was their first real introduction to the sound of bluegrass, and it left a lasting impression. Even now, if you start humming "Come and Listen to a Story About a Man Named Jed," chances are someone nearby will jump right in without missing a beat. It is also worth noting that while this song is lighthearted, it is a reminder of how storytelling is at the heart of country music. In less than 2 minutes, you know exactly who Jed Clampett is, where he came from, and where he is headed. And you have a smile on your face the whole time. You Lay So Easy on My Mind, Bobby G. Rice. Now here is Bobby G. Rice and a song that is all heart. You Lay So Easy on My Mind has this beautiful simplicity that makes it unforgettable. This one-hit wonder from the early 70s came out of nowhere and instantly wrapped itself around your heart. It is the kind of song that reaches in and gently reminds you what love feels like when it is easy and true. Bobby sings with this rich sincerity. The melody floats like a gentle breeze, and the words tell a love story that does not try too hard. It is honest and smooth like a glass of fine bourbon that warms you without the burn. The vocals feel like a late-night conversation on a porch while fireflies dance around your feet. There is no drama, no grand gestures, just a man serenading the one who fits him so naturally he barely realizes it until he sings about it. That is pure songwriting magic. And even though Bobby G. Rice did not fill up stadiums afterward, this song still finds a way to echo in your soul. If you press play, you will feel like you just found a hidden treasure. The kind that sticks with you not because it blares from speakers, but because it hums in your heart. That is what makes You Lay So Easy on My Mind a true one-hit wonder delight. A reminder that sometimes less is so much more. What I Really Meant to Say, Cindy Thompson. Here comes Cindy Thompson with a song that feels like opening a letter you never sent. What I Really Meant to Say isn't just a track, but a confession wrapped in melody. It's that lump in your throat you can't quite swallow, those words you rehearse in your head but never manage to get past your lips. And Cindy, she turns that ache into something achingly beautiful. From the first strum of the guitar, you know you're in for more than just a casual listen. You're boarding an emotional ride you didn't plan for, but suddenly can't get off. The melody is soft and airy, almost like cotton candy drifting through a summer fair, but there's an edge to it. It's the kind of sweetness that's bittersweet, pleasant on the surface, but with something raw underneath. You find yourself leaning in as if she's telling you a secret you've been waiting to hear. Her voice? Just the perfect balance of tenderness and honesty. Vulnerable enough to make your chest tighten, steady enough to carry the weight of every unspoken truth. As she sings, you're not just hearing her story, you're reliving your own moments of hesitation. The time you almost spoke up. The time you let someone walk away without saying what you really felt. The time you smiled instead of shouting, "Don't go." What makes the song hit so deep is that universal understanding. Sometimes silence is louder than words, and regret has its own kind of echo. Cindy captures that in a way that's not overly dramatic, but piercing in its simplicity. It's art born from a pause, from the breath you take before saying something, and then never saying it. The track climbed the charts, introducing Cindy to the country music spotlight, but just as quickly, she chose a quieter path, stepping away from the industry. And maybe that's part of the magic. This one song remains frozen in time, untouched, like a snapshot of a feeling we all know too well. Even years later, what I really meant to say still has the power to make you stop mid-scroll, close your eyes, and think about the words you left unsaid. Press play, and you might find yourself nodding, maybe even whispering along, as your own memories come rushing back. It's not just a song, it's the soundtrack to every what if you've ever carried. The beauty of this one hit wonders is that they know our shared humanity and help us talk about those things we wish to say. So, if you're loving the list so far, stay tuned for more. Bop, Dan Seals. Ready for an instant mood lifter? Bop by Dan Seals is the song that demanded you drop whatever you were doing and dance. Back in the mid-'80s, it topped the country charts and even crossed over to pop audiences. And it earned that crown by being impossible to resist. From the moment the rhythm kicks in, your foot starts tapping. Dan's smooth voice leads you through lyrics that celebrate letting go and having fun. He reminds us that life is better when you bop along to the beat instead of overthinking everything. And let us be honest, we all need that reminder from time to time. This song is pure 80s joy wrapped in country flair. Think slick production, but keep the banjo sneaking in to remind you that this is more than just pop. Bop is the perfect marriage of slick and sincere. It is the kind of song you blast on a Friday evening, and suddenly, your car becomes your personal dance floor. Dan Seals was no newcomer to music. He was half of the soft rock duo England Dan and John Ford Coley. But bop became his signature country moment and sealed his reputation as an artist who could cross genres and still feel authentic. Even decades later, the song holds up because it is simply fun. No pretense. Just a celebration of letting loose, which is a reminder that sometimes we need a musical spark to break the routine and feel alive. So put bop in your set list and watch the smiles spread. I Loved Her First, Heartland. I Loved Her First by Heartland is one of those songs that sneaks up on you and leaves your heart in a puddle. From its first notes, you know this is a daddy speaking to his little girl just before the big walk down the aisle. Released in the mid-2000s, this song hit #1 and became a wedding anthem instantly. The lyrics capture that bittersweet moment when a man hands his daughter's hand to someone else and realizes he cannot hold on anymore. It is tender and tear-inducing without ever feeling overdone. The melody is simple, but yet powerful. The band's voices blend so nicely, you feel part of the story. As a one-hit wonder, Heartland managed to speak to a universal moment that nearly everyone has experienced or witnessed. There is a reason this song still shows up during father-daughter dances at weddings, as it perfectly captures love in transition. One door closes and another opens, and in that moment you have a rush of memories and hope wrapped into one perfect lyric. If you press play, prepare yourself. You might find yourself tearing up or reaching for someone to hug. That is the mark of a song that resonates deeply. Heartland showed the country world that storytelling is more than entertainment. It is shared emotion. And on that note, I Loved Her First stands as one of those rare country classics. Take This Job and Shove It, Johnny Paycheck. Take This Job and Shove It by Johnny Paycheck didn't just arrive in the late 70s, it came kicking down the door, boots first, with a message that resonated from factory floors to corner offices. Before long, it wasn't just a song, it was a movement. People were quoting it in break rooms, scribbling it on sticky notes, and muttering it under their breath as they passed the boss's office. Quitting your job suddenly didn't sound like a personal crisis. It sounded like a bold lifestyle choice, especially if Johnny Paycheck was your hype man. Johnny's voice on this track? Rough as gravel and twice as real. You can almost picture him leaning against the mic stand with that "I've seen some things" look in his eye, delivering each word with the conviction of a man who's had more than his share of bad Mondays. It's not polished, and that's the magic. It's authentic. Every growl, every pause carries years of sweat, stubborn pride, and a little whiskey-soaked wisdom. When it hit number 1, it wasn't just another chart topper. It was a victory for the working class. It was proof that a song about walking away could walk right into the heart of American culture and stay there, and Hollywood noticed too. Before long, the title was splashed across a movie poster, cementing the song's legacy as the soundtrack to defiance. But here's what keeps this song alive decades later. It's not mean-spirited. It's not bitter for bitterness' sake. It's defiance with a grin. It's standing up for yourself without throwing a punch. It gives you that satisfying stick-it-to-the-man rush without the career-ending aftermath. You listen to it, and suddenly you feel taller, bolder, maybe even a little reckless, like you might just toss the tie, leave the cubicle, and hit the open road. And yet, most of us don't actually quit when the song ends. We just turn the volume up, let Johnny do the talking, and enjoy that delicious fantasy of freedom. Because sometimes all you need to survive a rough workday is a chorus that tells the truth louder than you can. It's outlaw country at its finest, angry without being cruel, cheeky without being careless. A little musical rebellion you can keep in your earbuds until it's time to punch out. Some of these one-hit wonders have refused to go quietly, capturing a universal sentiment that has anchored them forever in musical history. Lipstick Promises. George Dukas exploded onto the country scene in the mid-90s with Lipstick Promises, a song that's like a bold sign flashing a smart girl in control. You hear it and you lean in, because George wasn't just singing, he was telling a heartwarming story through his lyrics. Imagine her driving away in her red convertible. He's calling after her, begging her not to play with his heart. That twist where lipstick on his collar is proof she's two-timing? Pure storytelling gold. The production of this magical anthem is slick, full of rhythm guitar and subtle slide that is just enough to hint at heartbreak without drowning you in sorrow. George's voice then combines with the rhythm as he rides that groove with swagger, mixing vulnerability with playful defiance. He's admitting he's burned, but proud enough to say it out loud. This hit song climbed to number 9 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart in 1994. And though George never replicated the magic, this hit stayed with fans for a very long time. It bridged that gap between contemporary country and the more traditional, earning Dukas a spot in playlists across the nation. Nashville insiders remember it as one of those late-night jukebox standards where someone tips their hat and waits for the chorus. Everyone knows it and usually sang along as they listened on the radio. What makes Lipstick Promises stand the test of time isn't just the catchy hook. It's the relatable scenario. We've all felt burned by someone we trusted. George gave heartbreak a backbone. If you watch George perform it live, you'll catch his wry smile when he sings the line about lipstick on your collar. There's self-awareness there. He's not pretending to be a victim, he's just telling his side of the story. You laugh a little bit, you wince a little bit, and you realize heartbreak can still be fun to sing along to. I Can Help, Billy Swan, Billy Swan's I Can Help is one of those rare songs that's sunshine in audio form. Released in 1974 and co-written by Kenny Rogers, it became an international hit, and that for a very good reason. From start to finish, it's warm, charming, and impossible to dislike. Think Elvis Presley meets country pop. Billy's delivery is smooth, and the melody is bright and breezy. The lyrics, a classic I've got your back message. He promises to support the one he loves through good times and bad. Who doesn't want that sort of comforting sound that still manages pretty well without being cheesy? He even added more seasoning to the already too good melody with his laid-back southern drawl and authenticity, making it feel like a friend offering you a hand. I Can Help reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and country charts. That's crossover gold. It even charted in the UK and Australia, where dancehall cover versions popped up in local languages. This wasn't just a country hit, it was global. What keeps this song fresh today is its sincerity. No gimmicks, no drama, just genuine kindness wrapped in a toe-tapping beat. And the arrangement is smart too. Acoustic guitar, gentle drums, and a splash of brass all build a feel-good vibe without drowning the message. I Can Help even earned a Grammy nomination, marking Billy Swan as a one-hit wonder in terms of chart reach. I Can Help is more than a catchy tune. It's generosity set to music, a message of comfort and goodwill wrapped in an infectious melody. That's where the magic happened, and why decades later, I Can Help still resonates with listeners around the world. Chevy Van, Sammy Johns. Here's a song that feels like a road trip bottled in vinyl. Chevy Van by Sammy Johns hit it big in 1975 with a story so raw and real that it became a counterculture classic. It's not introspective fluff. It's a gritty, free-spirited moment captured in song. Johns tells a story of meeting a girl in his Chevy van, hitting the open highway, and living in the moment. The lyrics are unabashedly sexy and unapologetically adult. No romance novel vibes here. It's more like a snapshot of freedom and desire with the backdrop of an American road. The melody is simple but hypnotic. Acoustic guitar carries a groove that feels like cruising under the sun. His delivery is conversational, like he's telling a friend about that wild weekend. That authenticity turned it into a hit. It climbed the Billboard Hot 100 to #5. But more importantly, it became a symbol of 70s wanderlust. Because of its adult theme, it didn't always get radio love, but it thrived in clubs and freeform stations. It inspired covers, alternative rock remakes, and movie soundtracks. Notice how it still pops up in road trip playlists today, as it was the kind of song that made you want to roll the windows down, feel the wind in your hair, and maybe, just maybe, live a little recklessly. Sammy Johns captured that golden slice of Americana where nobody was thinking about tomorrow, because today was too good to be true. And even though Sammy never became a household name, this track still hits the road on every Best of the 70s playlist. Because Chevy Van isn't just a song, it's a mood mixed with a little blend of rebellion and a reminder that sometimes the best adventures start with a stranger and an open highway. Don't go anywhere, as this is only just the beginning. More unforgettable hits, bigger stories, and heart-grabbing moments are headed your way. Who I Am, Jessica Andrews. Here's the kind of song that makes you take a deep breath and think about the people who've shaped you. Who I Am by Jessica Andrews is pure heart on your sleeve country, an anthem of gratitude and self-acceptance. It's not about fancy cars, chart-topping fame, or living some Hollywood dream. It's about knowing exactly where you come from and loving yourself because of it. Jessica's voice is youthful but wise beyond her years here. Confident yet warm, like she's letting you peek into her personal scrapbook. The lyrics roll out like a love letter to her roots, her parents, her hometown, the little pieces of her past that stitched her together. The melody, bright, uplifting, and just catchy enough to make you hum along without realizing it. It's the kind of song that sneaks up on you. One minute you're tapping your foot, the next you're misty-eyed thinking about the people who've had your back. Whether you're 15 or 50, the message hits home. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be you. When it climbed to number 1, it wasn't just a win for Jessica, it was a win for every listener who's ever struggled with self-worth. Years later, Who I Am still feels fresh, like that old friend who calls just to remind you how much you matter. And honestly, who couldn't use that? Just Got Started Lovin' You, James Otto. If there was ever a song made that is supposed to set the mood for slow dancing barefooted in the kitchen at midnight while staring lovingly into the eyes of your heartthrob, this is it. James Otto's Just Got Started Lovin' You is the kind of track that overtakes you with its richness and at the same time covers you like warm honey, oozing romance from the very first note till every sound accompaniment that follows. It is smooth, soulful country and infused with just enough R&B flavor to make it glide effortlessly. And James's rich baritone wraps around you like the embrace of a well-worn leather jacket on a cool evening. The beauty of the song is in its simplicity. The night is still young, and so is the love. Every lyric slides across the melody like a gentle caress, each word filled with affection and that playful promise that the magic is far from over. You can almost hear the smile in his voice, the unspoken invitation to linger a little longer, to forget about tomorrow and sink completely into the moment. James does not perform this song like a man reading a script. He delivers it like someone who means every syllable. There is a raw honesty in his voice, a lived-in quality that makes you believe he is singing to someone right there in the room. The arrangement never tries to outshine the lyrics. Instead, it builds slowly, allowing the emotions to breathe and letting the intimacy of the moment take center stage. When the song reached number 1, it was no surprise that it quickly became a wedding playlist staple. It has the timeless quality of true romance. No gimmicks, no unnecessary flash, just the kind of heartfelt passion that makes couples lean closer together without even realizing it. Even today, press play on this track and you will feel the room change. Conversations soften, eyes meet, and hearts slow to match the rhythm. It is not just a song, it is an invitation to pause, to hold on to the person you love, and to realize that sometimes the best love stories are written in moments just like this. Quiet, unhurried, and unforgettable. Yes, Chad Brock. Few songs capture the giddy, can't-stop smiling rush of new love quite like Yes by Chad Brock. From the very first bright strum of the guitar, you know this is not going to be a slow burn. This is a sparkler lit on a summer night, a firecracker exploding in the middle of your chest. It feels like the soundtrack to the best scene in a romantic comedy, the one where the guy meets the girl, the connection is instant, the world tilts just a little, and the only word that matters is yes. Simple? Yes. Satisfying? Absolutely. Chad's delivery radiates charm. It is warm, open, and full of that earnest energy that makes you believe every word he is singing. There is a youthful excitement in his tone, the kind that spreads like laughter in a crowded room. By the time the chorus hits, you are already singing along, windows down, grinning so hard your cheeks hurt. The joy is contagious. The lyrics are a celebration, but not only of romance. They are about possibility. They are about that sudden turn life takes when you least expect it, when everything that was ordinary suddenly feels extraordinary. The melody dances and skips like it has had one too many cups of coffee, but in a way that makes you want to keep up. When Yes climbed the charts, it was not just because it was catchy. It resonated because it bottled a feeling everyone remembers, that moment when the answer you prayed for, wished for, maybe even doubted you would hear, finally arrived. Years later, the song still shines as a feel-good anthem. Whether you are falling in love right now, reminiscing about a time you did, or simply in need of a mood boost, Yes is 3 minutes of pure sunshine. Play it, sing it, and do not be surprised if you start saying yes to more things in your own life. To check out one of my YouTube contents, kindly use this link to access my playlist. https://youtube.com/playlist list PLI1WF2CQs 2RN WQUM9 XG7UN SIDC 6XW7RHF RHF